Sanctuary, Levites, Garments of the Priests, Part 5, compiled by Shirley Jean Street and read by Wayne T. Street. The breastplate stones of the 12 tribes of Israel: carnelian, flesh-hued; zircon, white with golden flakes; peridot, golden green; agate, blue; emerald, golden green; amethyst, purple; ruby, crimson; topaz, golden; sapphire, blue; jasper, golden green; sardonyx, red; white, separated; onyx, snowy white. All the stones of the breastplate are transparent. Blue represents obedience. Purple represents royalty. Green represents hope. Red represents sacrifice. Gold represents faith. White represents purity. The stones in the breastplate were the same as those that formed the foundation of the New Jerusalem. The wall of the city had 12 foundations, and on them were the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And the foundations of the wall of the city were adorned with all kinds of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, the fourth emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprase, the 11th jacinth, and the 12th amethyst. Revelation 21, verse 14, and verses 19 and 20. The breastplate hung from the shoulders of the ephod and was fastened at the waist by a blue cord through gold rings. Set in the breastplate, one on either side, were two brilliant stones called the Urim and Thummim. By means of these stones, the mind of the Lord could be ascertained by the high priest. When questions were asked, if light encircled the precious stone at the right, the answer was in the affirmative. But if a shadow rested on the stone at the left, the answer was negative. The breastplate being attached to the ephod, David, in calling for the priest to bring the ephod, when he was undecided as to what course to pursue, was really asking for the breastplate by which he might know the mind of the Lord. 1 Samuel 23, verses 9 to 12. There was one other article belonging to the high priest's garments, the mitre or bonnet. Exodus 28, verses 36 and 37. A gold plate bearing the inscription, "Holiness to Jehovah," was fastened by a blue lace to the front of the white bonnet or turban worn by the priests. No priest was allowed to wear the priestly garments except when officiating in the sanctuary or court. Ezekiel 44, verse 19. There is a touching significance in the high priest wearing the names of all Israel on his shoulders and over his heart as he performed the work which typified the judgment, when the case of every person will come up in review before God. The breastplate was called the breastplate of judgment. Exodus 28, verse 15. Those names engraved on the stones were a type of the names of the overcomers, which Christ will confess before his Father and the angels. Stone is an enduring substance, but far more enduring is the book of life, where the names which Jesus has confessed are written to remain forever. Revelation 3, verse 5. Now we have the type and antitype. Priest's garments, Jesus's garments. Exodus 28, verse 32, garment all of one piece. John 19, 23, Jesus's earthly garment was woven in one piece. Exodus 28, verses 15 to 21, the breastplate of judgment contained the names of the 12 tribes and was worn over the heart of the high priest as he performed the work which typified the work of the judgment. Revelation 3, verse 5, as each individual name comes up in review before God in the judgment, Jesus will confess the names of the overcomers